What's going on, Bills Mafia, Cowboys Nation? This is Gen 716 back here again, and today got to talk about this Thanksgiving preview. Huge game between the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys. Very, very important game for both teams. For the Buffalo Bills, this just gets them one step closer to the playoffs, and I know that they're going through a gauntlet of a schedule even after the Cowboys game, so this is a very, very important game for them. For the Cowboys, they need every win they can get, especially so they can try to get past the Philadelphia Eagles and clinch that NFC East berth. So everyone counts for the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be on Thursday, prime time. Well, not prime time, 8 o'clock, but this is going to be the game because the rest of the Thanksgiving games are just horrible. And this is going to be a game where the entire country would definitely pay attention to. Now, for the Buffalo Bills, this is their first time being in the spotlight. For the Dallas Cowboys, they're used to this. But, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, they've struggled against teams that are 500. I don't think that I think they have maybe one win, or I don't think they got any wins against anybody that's 500. For the Buffalo Bills, I think they only got one win against the Tennessee Titans that are 500. So both teams struggle against 500 opponents, but one team is 8-3, the other one is 6-5. Now, we all know the Cowboys are way more talented than the Buffalo Bills. But the Buffalo Bills, I think, are the better coach football team. It's more about the talent versus who's against the better coach team. And obviously, we're going to see the result of who wins between that matchup on Thursday. So, getting right down to it, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, we all know the Dallas Cowboys. The super, super talented. They might almost every single position. They might have a top 5 player in almost every position on the football field. I mean, you look at Jalen Smith, the offensive line with Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Byron Jones, Xavier Woods playing out of this world. Van Der Esch, who's not playing, but Van Der Esch, when he's on the football field, is arguably a top 5 linebacker. I mean, these guys, Amari Cooper, I mean, these guys have players all over the football field. The talent level is great. I forgot to even mention DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, you see my point here. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys just have a bunch of talent up front. The Buffalo Bills, defensively, they're third in the league in defense. A lot of talent that not a lot of people, maybe besides Bills fans, actually know. Like Matt Milano, Trey White starting to get his name out there now. But obviously Matt Milano, Trey White, Jordan Phillips, Jerry Hughes. You look at a guy like Kevin Johnson, who's really starting to emerge a little bit for us. Of course, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Tremaine Edmonds, and Lorenzo Alexander. So the Buffalo Bills got guys. They got guys too. Maybe not as talented as the Dallas Cowboys and how their team is, but the Buffalo Bills have a lot of talent. You look at the offensive side: Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, John Brown's having a career year. Cole Beasley, the former Cowboy, who we're going to see how he fares against his old team. And the offensive line led by Mitch Morse and Feliciano's having a great year. It's just gonna be an interesting matchup. I think the keys I would say for both. I would say the keys for the Buffalo Bills, because the Buffalo Bills, they're the underdog. Now the keys for them is, number one, they have to limit the penalties. The penalties killed the Buffalo Bills last game. Now they won 20-3, and that was people say that's the most complete performance of the year. Well, what has been a struggle for the Buffalo Bills in almost every single game has been the penalties. They had 12 penalties last week, but that's not a shocker. I mean, this team averages at least 5 or 6 penalties a football game. They can't have penalties have killed the Buffalo Bills, and honestly has cost them games. You can't do that against the Cowboys team that, with the talent level that they have, that loves to take advantages and opportunities when it comes to teams messing up because of penalties. They take advantage of those opportunities. The Buffalo Bills can't have that. So they have to play a clean, limited football game as far as the penalties. They've got to calm down when it comes to the penalties. I think the number 2 thing for the Buffalo Bills, you have to control the time of possession. The Dallas Cowboys, they're the number 1 offense in football. They're the number 1 passing attack in football, and then of course you got Ezekiel Elliott with the offensive line, and you can't let Ezekiel Elliott go off, obviously, but you can't give the ball back to the Dallas Cowboys a whole bunch of times. They just can't do it unless you're in Foxborough, where it's raining and it's 30 the wind is just driving everybody crazy. I just don't see the Cowboys with that many possessions scoring only 13 points. That's not going to happen. This is going to be in Dallas. It's not going to be any hard wins. It's not going to be raining. It's going to be a very, very cool. It's going to be very, very cool. Probably around 70 degrees, maybe 65. It's going to be very, very cool, and you're playing in a dome. So I just don't see that being the weather this time being a problem for the Dallas Cowboys. So yeah, you can't give that Cowboys team a bunch of possessions. So you're gonna have to control the time of possession in this football game. You have to run the football with Devin Singletary, run the football with Frank Gore. Of course, you got the quarterback design runs with Josh Allen. You have to try to implement that. More and have that be successful against this defense. And most importantly, the offensive line, they got to win up front in the trenches. You have got to win up front against the trenches. I understand that the Cowboys have a very, very good defensive front Collins, with Malik Collins and Lawrence out there. But you're going to have to win up front against that front, especially with Jalen Smith leading the charge up there. We're going to have to see Josh Allen be successful throwing the football. Now, obviously, he's not going to throw for 300 yards. The Cowboys have one of the best pass defense units also in football, obviously with Byron Young leading the charge. Not too sure if Xavier Woods was playing. He's having a phenomenal season for the Cowboys. Not sure if he's playing, but obviously Josh Allen he's gonna have to have a decent performance. No turnovers. I just no turnovers, no fumbles, especially when he's carrying the rock. I know he's had fumble issues of the past. He's got to try to fix those mistakes going against this Cowboys unit that loves to take advantage, especially with turnovers. So, for the most part, you're going to have to control the time of possession. You're going to have to run the football, win up front in the trenches, and obviously Josh Allen's going to have a no turnover type of game. Now, for the Cowboys, how you beat the Buffalo Bills, it's pretty much simple. Pretty much simple, guys. You're just gonna have to keep doing what the Dallas Cowboys keeps doing in the past. Now, obviously, besides the Patriots game, these guys are scoring 20, 30. These guys are scoring 30, 20, 30 points. They're having at least 500 total yards of offense. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, he's not having the season that we've seen in the past, but Dak Prescott, he's going to be throwing the air. Amari Cooper's got to beat Tre'Davious White. That's a big key. He's got to beat Tre'Davious White. Now, Stephon Gilmore locked up Amari Cooper last game. Amari Cooper, he's going to have to get free. Because we understand you got Michael Gallup up there, and then, of course, you got Randall Cobb in the slot. But those two guys are not going to beat this Buffalo Bills secondary. This Bills secondary just might be the best in the league, maybe besides the Patriots. Amari Cooper is going to have to get going against Tre'Davious White in order for the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. The running game, of course, that has to happen. Ezekiel Elliott, he's had. I don't know what's wrong with Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know if it's just on him or if it's just the offensive line. But he's got to get it going in order for the Dallas Cowboys to potentially win this game. If Dak Prescott can't get it going in the air, and most likely we could see a game where Amari Cooper is limited to maybe 2, 3, 4 catches with like maybe 30, 40 yards. I mean, Tre'Davious White is just that damn good of a corner. He might honestly be the best or the second best corner right now in the game. So, Amari Cooper, if he can have a big performance against Tre'Davious White, then the Dallas Cowboys, it wouldn't be... I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game. I think that matchup alone could very well determine who wins that football game. So I think that, yes, Amari Cooper's going to have to get off. Ezekiel Elliott, in this offensive line, they're going to have some success in the running game. Of course, they're going to have to limit the turnovers. I know that for Dak Prescott, he's having a little bit of trouble with turnovers. He's going to have to clean up those mistakes and obviously limit the penalties. You can have penalties, especially going against the Buffalo Bills unit that can take advantage of those opportunities. They might not score every touchdown when it comes to turnover differential, but they can get points. And this Buffalo Bills defensive unit can definitely get points. As far as like under the radar players, I think for the Buffalo Bills, I definitely think that Ed Oliver, Jordan Phillips are players in the trenches. I think that those are going to be very, very important, especially going against Travis Frederick, Zach Martin out there, and I forgot the guy from LSU. I think his name is Collins. Not too sure, but that Dallas Cowboys offensive line, if those two guys can get it going against the offensive line, they can have consistent penetration against that front, slowing down Ezekiel Elliott, holding them down to maybe under 100 yards this game, then I think that the Buffalo Bills can have a lot of success. Again, Tre'Davious White versus Amari Cooper, that is going to be the matchup right there. I think that matchup alone is very well going to determine who's going to win this football game. I think that's just how important that matchup is. We saw last week with Gilmore and how effective that matchup was, how uncomfortable Dak Prescott was not really having a rhythm. He was trying to find Cooper, but he was getting locked down almost every single time. They're going to need their number one receiver if they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills. Again, for the Bills, control the clock, do what you do, run the football well. Josh Allen has a no turnover game. He can have a type of consistent, performance like we've seen the past couple games. I think the Bills could potentially win it. But overall wise, guys, that's all I have. As far as a prediction, I'm gonna roll with the Bills. I'm gonna roll with the Bills here. I know the Cowboys are definitely desperate, and I definitely think that can definitely play in their favor. But I'm gonna go with the Bills with the upset. I think that Tre'Davious White will beat Cooper. Cooper has struggled with number one corners, with number one elite corners. He struggled against elite corners all season long. I definitely think that matchup is going to be the reason why the Buffalo Bills will win. I think Tre'Davious White shuts down Cooper. They get it going in the run department, and the Bills will win a close, very, very close football game, 23-20. So anyway, guys, hopefully you guys liked the video. If you guys did, consider hitting that subscribe button if you want to see more sports content. And that's all I have for today. So anyway, guys, this is Jan716. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.